because these things are common knowledge to us, we forget to educate the public. And the reality is that you might be saying the same message until you are blue in the face, but you have to keep saying it. And a lot of times we give up before we penetrate. Hey friends, I'm Rosemary Lewis, your homegirl, and I'm so excited that you are here. I do not care what it looks like on Instagram or HGTV. This whole being a realtor thing is not for the faint at heart. In 2017, I quit my job as a teacher to follow my real estate dreams and quickly found myself overwhelmed and struggling. Fast forward to today. Not only have I been recognized as one of the leaders in our industry, I have actually grown a business that I absolutely love. I don't care if you're a brand new agent trying to figure out how to get started or a veteran feeling overwhelmed and just stuck. I was just like you, and I totally get it. Many times I wish there was someone that I could just talk to about all the challenges I was facing. And that is why I created this space just for you. Like best friends do, I'm giving you all the tea related to navigating and thriving in these real estate streets. If I can do it, guess what? That's proof that you can too. Everything's better with friends, so let's succeed together. Welcome to the Real Estate Bestie podcast. Hey besties, welcome to episode number, I don't know, what is it? 124? Is it 124? Look, we have been rocking and rolling with episode number 124. And in my head, it's going to be a short and sweet one because I just want to talk a little bit about social media in 2024. Now, let me just start off by saying that I am in no way, shape, or form claiming to be a social media expert, right? But this is what I will tell you is that social media has been one of the major keys major keys in not only attracting but building relationships with the clients that I want to build relationships with. And it does not always equal a million bazillion followers or even a whole bunch of likes. But listen, when you show up, people are watching, okay? And unfortunately, I see a lot of us doing it wrong. And I just want to share a couple of tips for social media in 2024 and share a couple trends that I hope are leaving and things that I think are here to stay. Okay. So here is the very first one, and I cannot take credit for this. I want to say that I got this first social media tip from Jenna Kutcher. I had to think about it. Jenna Kutcher. Shout out to Jenna Kutcher. I'm actually going to link this episode, y'all. If y'all don't know who Jenna Kutcher is, she's not a real estate person at all, but she's like a business marketing coach, has one of the top rated podcasts ever, and she's just a boss, right? And I actually had the pleasure of being on Jenna's podcast. She interviewed me about a course that I invested in, and it was like a full circle moment because I have been listening to her tips forever. Young girl, I'm calling her a girl, young woman, young lady, but full of knowledge. And she said this and it struck a chord, and I was like, yes, I got to tell the real estate besties this as it relates to social media. So social media in 2024. Let me tell you what we got to do, babies. We have to show up authentically. We are living in a day and age, right, where we had the trend where everybody was walking slow in Louboutins, right? And some people, I know I'll be talking about people walking slow into Louboutins because it's not my deal. Some people really got some swag and they really that's their deal. They should be walking slow in Louboutins. They have earned it because that is who they are. But there are a whole other group of folks that I think show up to social media the way that we think we should be showing up. And when you walking slow in Louboutins and you actually gonna take them back as soon as the video is over because I ain't gonna say you can't afford them, you don't even like them. We all know, okay? We all know. And then you go scuff the bottom up and cannot even take them back. So we live in a society with that and ChatGPT and all of this quick, fast stuff that I think that we have, not only have we lost the art, but we have forgotten that we are good enough exactly how we are. And we think that we have to be super duper X, whatever X is, polished, proficient. We have to know everything. We have to look a certain way. And if we like, just showing up as yourself is not good enough. And I'm saying bring authenticity back in 2024. Jenna said it first. That's the first place I heard it. I was thinking it, but I heard it from her. And I am going to say that, right? This year, because we can have perfectly curated everything. But listen, when you just show up on social media and talk your talk and share exactly like what you got, and I'm not saying go on there and like, if you going through a bad breakup, I don't want you to go on social media and talk about it like the day y'all broke up. But I'm literally like, just show up as you, right? And if that's you in your robe, if that's you when you finish working out, if something hit your spirit, and your lender call you and tell you about something, or a builder, and you want to get on the internet and let your people know right away, don't worry about if your hair appointment ain't till next Tuesday. Don't hold the information till next Tuesday. Rate's gonna go up by then, okay? Showing up authentically as yourself, it's nothing like it. It is nothing like it. And I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a pro tip. Well, maybe I should hold this tip, but maybe I should. There are times where I can be on the internet giving y'all all of the best real estate knowledge, but when I just show, and not that I'm not showing up as myself, but when you share authentically who you are, people resonate with that. I'll never forget this time. Shout out to Tish at Vanity Wellness. Tish is what does Tish do, child? She does a little bit of everything, but she is a nurse. And she does like my husband's IVs, and I get IVs from her too, like hydration IVs or whatever. But Tish also does like post-op care for people who have gotten plastic surgery. And Tish went on over to Tijuana somewhere, and she the one that got bodied up too, okay? So when she first came to my house after having her surgery, and she came and she had on her scrubs, I was like, oh no, Tish, you got me messed up. Not in my house, sis. You gonna come over here with a cardigan on to your ankles around my husband, right? And we just cracked a joke, but I was so serious. Y'all, I got more besties in my inbox and friends and clients cracking up like, you better tell her, because you got to see my personality. You got me laughing with another woman. You got my like the whole thing. But showing up authentically, like, connects you with people. And this is what I'm saying. I started off in the beginning by saying, even if I know a lot of y'all get discouraged if you don't have all these followers, right? If you don't have all these likes or all that interaction. And I'm here to tell you, I am the type of person, and I know there are a lot of people out here like this too, and I try to be more conscious, is that there are people that I follow and I look for their content, and I don't know that I always remember to go back and like or comment it. So just because you're not getting what seems to be the interaction does not mean that your people are not connecting with you. And I have been in some moments with clients, like for instance, anytime someone calls my husband CL, I know that they've interacted with me on social media, right? We'll be out in public and people will call him. A lot of people at our church call him CL. People who never like nothing, who never look at it. But I know, because he goes by Corey, I refer to him, I should say. I don't even really call him CL. I refer to him as CL. And he refers to me as RL. So people are watching. When I hear people call him that, I know that they're watching our content and they're looking how we show up authentically. So that's number one. Show up authentically, whatever that looks like. Okay, here's next thing. Social media in 2024. I feel like long form video is coming back. That's what I feel like. I've heard a few people predict it. And I'm just even thinking through, some things that I have put out. We definitely, we had that little trend, and I don't necessarily think that trend is leaving, where you have these quick reel videos and you get all the views. And honestly, I feel like those numbers are just inflated, right? You write this long old post so that people will read your your long post so that they'll watch the video over and over so you can get more views and it puts you out in front of people. Yes, I know that happens, but I do wonder, like, how many people are they putting that out in front of your ideal client, right? When I think of my reels, even that have gotten the most like action, the content of the reel wasn't truly it was me, but it wasn't like real estate stuff, right? So I think that long form video is coming back. And especially for those of you all who are attracting, you're looking to help a specific type of client. You really want to help a veteran. You really want to help those first time home buyers. You really want to target, these sellers who are transitioning. They're downsizing because their kids are going away to college and you have been through that. You really want to help, people tap into their equity for investment. Long form video is going to be your way to continually show up to educate. I do think that there is a large majority of people that come to the internet to be entertained, but I also think that they are coming to be educated, right? And this is a great space for us to show up and solidify ourselves as the expert in our field. So, doing a 5 to 7 minute video to bust a myth. And this is something else that I think realtors kind of get twisted, because I think that sometimes because things are common knowledge to us, you think they're common knowledge to everybody. But I guarantee you that right now there is somebody that follows you that still thinks that you have to have an 800 credit score to buy a house. There's somebody who still thinks that, interest rates are at the height that they were. There are some people who don't know about the down payment assistance program, or they don't know about, yes, you do have a 2% interest rate. So maybe you should use this house now as a rental and actually still buy the house that you want so that your baby no longer has to sleep in a bathtub. But because these things are common knowledge to us, we forget to educate the public. And the reality is that you might be saying the same message until you are blue in the face, but you have to keep saying it. And a lot of times we give up before we penetrate. I never forget, I used to do this workout called Camp Gladiator. And there was a young lady named Emily. What up, Emily? Emily used to sell rodent fields, right? And listen, let me tell you, ain't no marketer like a multi-level marketer, because a multi-level marketer don't stop. Then y'all get in real estate and want to act funny. But anywho, I digress. But Emily was selling rodent fields, and she always, several times a day, back to back, like always posted about how these products helped her skin. She had a couple of pictures she would always post. She would post different stories if they had a product, like always post. And then later down the line, like gratefully, my parents both were blessed with just a great skin tone, and I inherited that. But listen, later on down the road, my husband was looking for something. Like he was looking for a dermatologist, or he was looking for a product. And the first thing that was top of mind for me, I was like, oh, let me connect you to this girl, Emily, that I work out with. And I don't know if rodent fields will work for you, but he ended up ordering it. Why? Because she kept up with the same message over and over. And I want you all to think about that and start thinking through long form video. It does not have to be, short form. I'm not saying throw the short form video out, but I am saying getting on the internet, going live, having a 5-minute conversation, sharing a story about a successful down payment assistance client, a successful closing, a successful bill job. Like, you just never know who is listening. And the more that we show up to educate, the more what's happening is you're training the people around you that you are an expert. And then I want to say this, because I know there's some besties that are feeling overwhelmed, like, I just got a business, I don't know nothing. All you need to know is 10% more than the person you're talking to. Like, I'm going to give you that game for free, right? If you don't know every intricate detail about, now you're going to learn, right? That's why you here. That's why you're going to get out here and get this information. But if you don't know every intricate detail about closing a house, but you heard from the grapevine and you actually got on the phone with a lender and you can confirm that you do not need an 800 credit score in order to buy a house, you get yourself on the internet and you tell the people you do not need an 800 credit score to buy a house, right? As a matter of fact, you can get qualified with a 580. Now, what does this mean? What type of qualification? Now, you can get qualified, but we do want to improve credit for, for a rate. However, if you waiting around, right, if you think you got to renew your lease another year until you get to 800, that is false, and you should give me a call, right? So you don't have to have everything figured out, but get on the long form video and start educating. Okay, then here's number 3. While we're talking about it, friend, video is going to be here still. Yeah, I know. Bummer. Actually, it's not. Video is still going to be here. And you just gonna have to get on it. I don't know. I get it. Like when I first started YouTube, like I don't even want y'all to go all the way back, but you know what? Go all the way back to my very first YouTube videos. I have a few hundred on there. Up into a few years ago, I would never, ever watch my YouTube videos. Because I would even before I did YouTube, I would do this thing on Fridays called Friday Favorite, where I would pick, I live in a highly populated new construction community. I would go to a new construction house every Friday and I would walk it, and it would be my Friday favorite. I literally was on camera for 30 seconds and I could just throw up every single time I saw myself. And then it dawned on me, right? Because I know what some people are like, I don't like seeing myself on camera. That's what you look like though, right? like, let's really think about it. We don't want to see ourselves on camera. We don't want people to see ourselves on camera. But if you got a call right now for somebody who wants to sell a house for $1 million, would you show up over there, or would you say, oh, I can't go because I don't like the way I look today? am willing to bet you're probably going to show up for that appointment. Okay. And listen, let me just go ahead and just remind you of something right here. Okay. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image and in the likeness of God. So when we don't like what is looking back at us, then what we're doing is, I feel like it's disrespecting God. But I'm even going to take it a step further, because I'm with you. I'm a woman. My weight fluctuates, my hair ain't done, all this stuff. If it's something that you truly like, if there is something about the way you're showing up that is holding you back from showing up, then chances are we can change it. We can do something about it. And I'm telling you, like right now, I'm on a journey. I'm on a 60-day challenge where, I told you all in episode, I think it was episode number 114, about me giving up alcohol, right? About me making the decision to stop drinking. And as it related to stop drinking, I actually kind of feel like I have a superpower now. Like, okay, if I can quit drinking, what else can I quit doing? And I'm in the middle or halfway through the 60-day challenge where I'm really challenging myself to eat whole foods, to drink water. And as a result of doing something about what I didn't like the reflection, I didn't like looking back to me in the mirror, I'm doing something about it. Like the pain of, not having cookie society as often as I want to, that pain in the moment is actually being purposeful because it's making me more confident. So I know that it's a real thing. I'm your friend. Like, I know it is a real thing to not really like the way we're showing up. But number one, that's how you are in person, right? So show up confidently, love yourself exactly where you are. And then number two, if you really don't like it, you really can do something about it. You can do something about it. Okay. Something else for social media in 2024. People want to be entertained. And this is what I love, right? I love that not only can you use social media to educate and to tell about your profession, but you can also share a bit about you and who you are, because people do come to the pages to be entertained, that they kind of stay for the story, right? And I'm thinking about, I actually got a message from one of my clients today. A couple days ago, I posted this funny little, it literally was just a picture of what I was cooking. So all my Louisiana folk, y'all probably go roll y'all eyes, but I make gumbo. But I put vegetables in it because that's the way I was taught. I was taught by somebody who is not from Louisiana. I was taught by my mother-in-law, and I make it the way she made it and the way my husband liked it. And I did not know that I was committing like a cardinal sin until I got to Texas and I met all these Louisiana people, and I have all these Louisiana friends that are like, no, that is not gumbo. Until they tasted it. When they tasted it, I was like, oh girl, it's fire. However, we cannot allow you to call it gumbo. You got to call it something else. So I went on the internet and I showed my concoction that I was making. And I just cracked a joke and I said, I can't call it gumbo out of respect for all of my Louisiana friends, but this is my rumbo, right? Rosemary's version of gumbo. Little funny, little entertaining, got a lot of comments, a lot of interaction, but I'm also letting people into a little bit more. That's the authentic piece, a little bit more of who you are. So don't make it, again, like it still stands. Like, do not make your page all about real estate. I do want to know that you are a real estate agent, but what else about you without us thinking so deeply about it, right? Because I don't want you also to feel like you got to share your life story, although I probably do. But what are some glimpses that you can share about you where people know that you are real? Because here is the reality, okay? The reality is that we do business with those that we know, like, and trust. And I've shared with y'all before, like, this is the trick where a lot of people, I think, get caught up in social media, right? You get caught up in how many followers you got. You get caught up in how many comments. And if you don't have brand new people from start to finish, right? You never knew them before. They follow you on Instagram and then they buy a $2 billion house. Then you feel like it was a waste of your time. But this is something that I'll tell you what social media has done for me is that there are people, so many people that are in my sphere who maybe they didn't meet me on social media, right? Maybe they saw me at church. Maybe they saw me, at a birthday party. Maybe we were introduced one. Maybe I used to teach their kid, or I used to teach their friend's kid. And some kind of way they got connected with me on a social platform. And because on that platform I'm showing up, I'm building trust with them. And whereas our initial interaction was not on social media, I was able to definitely build a relationship there. And that's the piece that I think a lot of people discount. We want to be able to point to a platform and say, hey, I didn't know Monica till she slid in my DMs. Where, you know what? I actually did know Monica. We used to work out together 8 years ago. And if I wasn't showing up on social media and following up with her and checking in with her and producing content, Monica would have forgot about me and sold her house with Rick. But as a result of how I'm showing up, she sold her house with me. So those are some of the things that I just think you need to think about as we're showing up in 2024, right? Showing up authentically, get into that long form content. We need to educate as well as entertain, right? Educate as well as entertain. And then here's the thing, the last thing I'm gonna say, consistency. Right? It ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. That what we do consistently will last. And I know that we get into spurts and don't overthink it. Like, y'all get out here, y'all start hiring all these people, spending $400, $500, $600, $700 a month. And then when you don't get what you deem to be the results, you just throw it away and you ain't never making taco soup on the internet no more. No, just show up consistently. And whatever consistency means and looks like to you, no, I take that back. Not what it looks like to you. Show up somewhere every day, right? And it could just be a little bit of you. Like, that's why I love Instagram stories. I love and it's so funny to me, y'all. Like, I have so many of my neighbors that follow me on Instagram. And it's not because, like, people be like, they have weird Instagram names. I don't even know what their names are. But I know they follow me because I know when I see them out, they'll say something to me where I'm like, that's in reference to a story that I posted 3 weeks ago, right? So people are definitely watching, but if you're not showing up consistently, you are not on their radar, right? So I love stories because I feel like stories can be a little less curated. Well, it all can be less curated, but you can try to go off the cuff and just holler at your people, but just find a space where you are going to commit to show up. And this is definitely, one of the things that we go pretty deep in Real Estate Bestie Academy. The academy is closed right now. We won't open up again until fall at the earliest, but you bet you believe you that we're going to dig into this and have some trainings about it at the Real Estate Bestie Retreat. So if you are, going to be in and around and you want to make a special trip to Dallas, April 9th through the 11th, it is our first exclusive event for the besties. And we're going to dig into, how to show up authentically on social. And that's like just a little slither of what you're going to get at the retreat. I hope these were helpful for you just as you are thinking through how to show up. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. Just do it scared, right? I know that for a lot of you all, a year ago, you was just in your IT job. You were just, I'm not saying just, like I'm not minimizing it, but as an HR professional, you didn't have to be on the internet, right? As a room mom, as as an elementary school teacher, as a whatever you were doing before you decided to take this crazy leap of faith to become a real estate agent, this was not a thing. But you know what? Now it is a thing. And now you have a free resource, right, that you can use to remind or to tell and share with your sphere of influence why you're not just a person that they probably want to do business with, but a person that they just want to get to know. So I hope this was helpful. And if it was, if you could give me some help, okay, if you could help your girl out, go ahead and leave a review. Leave a 5-star review. Follow the podcast wherever you are getting it, whatever platform you are. If you're listening on YouTube, follow the podcast and share it with a real life real estate bestie because they need these tips too. And it just helps all the algorithms know that we are doing something super special in the real estate bestie community, and they need to know that. So hope this was helpful, besties. I love you real, real big. Can't wait to chat with you next week. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.